right now and hope it shows that we're recording. It also shows that when I try to connect to live stream, that we're live streaming. So it just was a little unusual today. So anyways, starting over from scratch. Welcome everybody to my weekly live broadcast here on LinkedIn. Thank you, LinkedIn. I'm so appreciative of this tech and this ability to connect out in the ethers and just, talk about job search, career, spiritual, I guess I'd say connections and spiritual intelligence and how that really is your anchor and support for your career. I am Lori Swanson. I'm the CEO of Inspire Tech. We are a career wayfinding coaching company, and I'm also the founder of Career Alchemy Academy. We all become alchemists in our career inside the Career Alchemy Academy membership. And you'll see the QR code. I am currently running a 30-day challenge called Get More Interviews. It is not too late to join, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now, what I want to talk about, the topic today is, and again, so before I became a career wayfinding coach, I owned my own information technology search firm. So I and my team helped companies grow their technology teams. We also crossed into other functional areas within the organization, procurement, supply chain, sales, finance and accounting. So we did searches across all of those things, but I would say the bread and butter, because I started my career as a software engineer and then became a recruiter of software engineers. And I sold software, so it just made sense that that's where our primary focus was in information technology search, from more junior roles all the way up to chief information officers, chief data officers, chief analytics, all of those, and both on the infrastructure side as well as on the application side. So as a person who has helped thousands, talk to thousands about their resumes, about their LinkedIn profiles, about their job search and the challenges of their job search, and about negotiation, and about once they're in the jobs, how do they, form new relationships and get in the know, and how, and how do they advance their careers. So all of those things happened through my recruiting firm, and I was just a natural coach already along those things. But I would say that probably the number one sentence that I heard, especially, in the last, well, it had to have been within the last, 15 years or so, is that my resume has gone into the applicant tracking system black hole of death, or some variation of that, right? And so and what we know is, in order to get the offer you want, in order to work for the company that you want to work for, in order to do the work that you want to be doing, you have to get more interviews. More interviews leads to more offers. That's it, right? And so if you believe that when you apply to a job through the ATS, that it's just gone into a black hole, then what happens when we're believing that, and I'm not talking about the other ways to get more interviews. There's lots of ways to do that. In fact, inside the Get More Interviews Challenge, we're sharing all kinds of ways. Some are obvious and some are like, oh, I hadn't thought of that before. I might try that. So because inside the challenge, we're really pushing up against that comfort zone of continuing to do what we've already been doing. And we're starting to, with the goal of getting, most of the people inside of the challenge are trying to get more interviews. But, there are some people who are trying to just get more clients. One person is writing a book and they want to get more pages written, so it really could be the Get More challenge. But with regards, but I primarily am focusing this time on helping people get more interviews so they can get the offer, so they can, be giving um, back to a company and to the world their gifts that they have, that they use, through their form of service, which is their career. And so, all of that to say that when you have the thought, applying for the job, it's going into the ATS black hole of death, I'm never going to hear from anyone. Um, what that does is you begin to feel uninspired. You stop connecting with people. You're unmotivated. You're not attending as many networking events, right? Because your energy, is being depleted through this thought that there's, that it's a waste of your time to apply to these jobs. And even though you think, yes, I need to go to more or networking events, that's the way, because we all know it's like who you know, right? And that's the way to meet people so that I can get they know me and then more likely get these opportunities for interviews. But if part of your job search involves applying to jobs, and it does, because that still works, but if you're believing that it's not working, your energy is dropping, you just don't have enough energy to go on interviews. I mean, you've just depleted your energy to go to networking events. And you also will find yourself sort of happily distracting yourself from your job search because, oh, yes, the pantry reorganization is top priority today. Must get that done. Then I'll feel more energy and excitement about the job search. But in fact, you just need to change your thought around applying for jobs. So how do you sort of plug up that hole of resume black death? How do you do that? And as I mentioned, when what's happened is that you've allowed this thought to be the excuse of why you stop believing in yourself. You stop believe. I call it inside Career Alchemy Academy, and with my private coaching clients, I always talk about the triad, right? You need to just believe in you and your value, like you just need to believe in you. And then you also have to believe, in the second part here, in your experiences, education, certifications, age, sex. You just have to believe that all that package of you, you have to believe in it, that you have exactly what's needed for whatever that next role is. That you're perfectly positioned for these jobs you're applying for. I'm not saying you might not need to get an additional certification. I'm just saying that what you have right now is enough, and you have to believe that. And then the third part of the triad is that you believe that there's a place for you in the market, that there's demand for what you bring to the table right now in the market. And if you can believe all of that, then your energy is different, and when you are believing instead that as you're applying, it's just going into this, no one's going to return, no one's going to send a response back anyways. It's just going into the black hole of death. You're diminishing your belief in the triad of belief of you, your experiences, and et cetera, and the market itself, you and your value, right? And so the good news is that you can just decide to think differently about the black hole. You can decide that you can just decide, there's no black hole of death, of resume death, that's going to get the best of me. You are not going to get the best of me. You are not going to take away my energy, my motivation, my inspiration, my desire, my belief in myself, especially, you're not going to take away my belief in me. So what if you decided that you were going to have fun on this job search, that you were going to have fun, you were going to focus on getting more interviews, and part of that is applying for jobs, and that because your focus is on getting more interviews, and that, one of the action steps to get more interviews is applying for jobs that potentially could work. Again, and again, what I coach on is that should not be 80% of what you're doing, because it is a low return on investment. So give it a little investment because it could return, sort of like slot machines, right? It could return. And then focus more of your energy and, on the things that give higher return, like networking events and connecting, and other things, that we talk about in Career Alchemy Academy. But if you just decided you were going to have fun going out, getting more interviews, and that part of what you were doing is applying for jobs, and that your goal is to get more interviews, and the application of the jobs is part of that process of helping you meet your goal, you shift your energy, you shift your beliefs, and then watch what happens. When your energy is elevated, not from this uninspired, unmotivated energy, but when you've entered that energy, I swear, gets sent through the application um, uh, airwaves, I mean, somehow the resume gets there, right? And so let's just assume it's taking some energy with it when it gets from your desktop to or laptop to the company's applicant tracking system. It's getting there. So it's taking some energy with it. And let's not send the unmotivated, exhausted, hopeless, it's never going to happen for me energy. Instead, let's be like, watch me get more interviews. Look at me get more interviews. I always I talked about this today actually on the Get More Interviews challenge, because we are in our first week. That's why it's not too late. They're all recorded, so you can catch up on the recordings from Monday and today, and then be right caught up, and then join us for the next all of February and 8 more calls. Yep. So plenty of time to join, and for $47. Just think about it. If you could shorten the path between, getting more interviews and getting offers, $47 is, I need to charge $447, right? But anyways, I digress. So what I'm talking about is that, that yes, we're sending this energy across. Let's just, say that could be a thing, because I do believe energy moves like that. And so why not have this energy of, that's what I was saying. It's not the best part of It's a Wonderful Life, but it's the part where Clarence, and if you've ever seen it, Clarence and Jimmy Stewart, George, are at the bar that's no longer called Martinis, but it's now Nico's or something. And he said, "Get me, I'm getting angel wings." And he's pushing the cash register. Tink, tink. But in fact, he's giving angel wings. He thinks it's a joke. But I'm like, look at him. He's just giving out so many wings to all these angels. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, or watch the movie because it's a classic. And I think that's sort of the vibe you want to bring is, look at me, applicant tracking system, giving myself, giving my resume wings, right? Giving it wings, giving it that lift it needs to rise above the other resumes that are coming across and come to the attention of the right people. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me do that. And so that's really what I want to talk about. Like, when you're believing something that has you feeling uninspired, unmotivated, or wanting to happily distract yourself with your pantry, choose a different thought, because as I talk about here and inside of the academy and with my private coaching, you learn the mindset model, and your thoughts create your results. So if you're having a thought that your resume is going into an applicant tracking black hole of death, how you're feeling, uninspired and unmotivated, are going to create actions, or in this case, no action, meaning I'm not feeling up to going to that networking event. I'm tired of applying to jobs. This interview, is just, this conversation with a friend won't lead anywhere anyways. So I'm going to do it, but whatever. That sort of energy, those actions, right? So your thoughts create your results. So it's thoughts, feelings or emotions, feelings, actions, results. So if you have this thought, there's going to be feelings there. Your actions are going to be, you know, coming out of those thoughts and feelings. And then you have the results of no interviews. Then you're just going to use this as, like, you know, confirmation that the thought, my resume is going into the applicant tracking system of black hole of death. And so it's a fruitless effort. And then, of course, it's just this cycle of not getting more interviews and not getting that offer quicker. So I think what you need to choose right now is follow this QR code and Get More Interviews, and join this community of women connected to tech in some way who are getting more interviews, and really changing their thoughts around their job search. And we're learning, I'm teaching 9 skills over the 10 weeks. We're sort of front loading the overview of the skills, and then we'll be going back to them in the back. So we've already talked about on Monday why it's important when you're doing a challenge like this for 30 days to really set a goal that's a stretch goal, not just one that's incremental or that you know you can reach, right? And then we talked about the real thing to do when you're on a job search we talked about creating value and belief in your job search. The third skill we talked about today was emotional stewardship, and how that it varies, because again, in the mindset work that we just were talking about, there's your thoughts, but under those thoughts are these feelings, these emotions. And when you become a steward of your emotions, when you're in charge, when you can recognize what's happening with yourself and not let it derail you, then you are really the CEO of your job search, right? So become the CEO of your job search. Start by joining Get More Interviews. Or if you're really looking for private coaching, if you think that's the thing you need right now, and you know, sometimes there's the Career Alchemy Academy, there's a community. I do both. Like, I love one-on-one coaching, but I also am in a group coaching program for myself. I like both. I like someone to center on me every once in a while. So anyways, but there's all these options available. But if you're on a job search, just decide to join Get More Interviews Challenge. We welcome you. You'll be caught up right away. You have the recordings. And our next call is Monday, February 3rd at 4 p.m. Central Time. But again, you make all the calls you can make, and the ones you can't, you get the recordings. And there's a private Facebook page. You can post your wins. You can ask for support. And so much going on inside of Get More Interviews 30-day challenge. So that's it for today. So hopefully you have shifted your belief about the applicant tracking system, and you are, just giving your resume wings and creating more interviews and getting those offers more quickly, more easily, with calm, fun, joyful approach and feelings about this time that you're in this job search. So thanks so much. Always happy to have you here. Talk to you soon.